Just posting here in a few places. So today I'm going to be showing you how I ink swatch my Tailored Expressions premium dye inks. Now I've already done little ink pads and I keep them all here on this little chain or this little hoop. So I've already stamped them out. But I want to show you guys what else I do, how else I do my swatches. I do like to ink blend them just so I know what they're going to look like when I do need a color. So, and I'm going to go in order. Like I said, I had them all except for Tropical Punch, which will be here shortly. I'm the only person on the planet that orders all the inks except for one. So the first one I'm going to start with is Rose Water. And this is a really nice light pink. I do have a cloth to the side to catch, or so I can wipe my brushes off. Now, I'm still getting used to these lives, so please forgive me if I seem a little flustered, or sometimes I just don't know what to say, but that's just real life for me. So what I like to do is take one of these big fluffy brushes from Pink Fresh and just kind of start at the top. I am using my Stamp Wheel 2.0, and I just kind of blend the color down. Now, I will cut those down using my little die, which is a Sizzix die, and I don't remember if I got it in a kit, if I randomly got it at Joann's, or where it actually came from. But it works really well, and it keeps down the bulk when it comes to me storing my stuff. So this first one is Rose Water. And then after I blend, I will take my ink pad, set it to the side, peel this guy off. Now, because these are dye inks, I'm going to grab a tool. They will smooth out. When I first started using these, I would freak out because it just always looks splotchy. So the first one was Rose Water, and then we're going to move on to Cupcake. So because these are such light colors, I really don't have to wipe my brush off that much. Which is nice. So, let's see. If you have any questions at any time, please just post them. Like I said, I'm still getting used to lives. So, it's just me here doing it all, doing it all by myself. I really like the Tailored Expression inks. Like, they're so pigmented and there's so many different colors that are in the in her line. Like, this is Cupcake. So the first one was Rose Water. So it's a very nice light pink. So I will show you the die that I use to cut these down with. Now typically I would use, before I use the Tim Holtz, like the oxides to blend, but I've been finding that I really like blending the dye inks a lot more than the oxides. So let me show you. I keep the dye on my little swatch ring. Like, these are all my cardstocks that I have. But it's just this teeny tiny little die here. And it cuts them to like perfect size. So I don't have a ton of bulk when I'm storing these. And 9 times out of 10, they just hang right on my camera mount. So let's get to Cupcake. And I'm going in order as she has them listed on her website. So for me to blend, it just shows me how they're going to blend, and it helps with like color combinations. So I always start super light, you know, at the top, and then I will bring it in. And then even after I cut them, I still save the little pieces, because you never know. You could use them for a sentiment strip or whatever. You know, if you need a little colored piece to go somewhere or stamp or dye. So that one was Cupcake. So you can see the difference, which I hope you can see it on camera. The difference between these two. Like, Cupcake is a little bit more corally, I feel like, than the Rose Water. So I just take them, set them to the side. And then after I'm done, like, I lay them on top of the ink pad, like this. And as I'm stacking them, I know which colors that I need to cut out and their names, so I'm not searching all over the place for them. So that was Cupcake. The next one is going to be Pink Champagne, which I really like swatching them this way, because then you can kind of see where, you know, what you can blend with, like what colors are going to kind of go together as you're blending. I'm going to move this guy over just a little bit. So, and I like these big fluffy brushes from Pink Fresh because it makes blending so much easier. So I did wipe my brush off, and I will be wiping it off in between each color, just so I get like the true color of it. But yeah, Taylor Expression inks, I really enjoy them. I mean, I wouldn't have bought the whole collection if I didn't. Because I've gone back and forth with a couple different brands. Like, I really wanted, at first I really wanted the Concord and Ninth, but, or not Concord and Ninth, the Altenew, but they're so expensive. And I don't have no place to store them. I will check, thank you. So this one was the Pink Champagne. And I did. So, thank you. I fixed it. Yeah. And then the next one will be Strawberry Milk. What inks do you use currently? And these are just 2x2 squares. I just cut them from some pretty decent weight cardstock. The next one is Strawberry Milkshake. And this one is more of a brighter pink. So that literally, I mean, I'm just barely like touching the swatch. But this is a much brighter pink than the first 3 that I've done. And she does have, I just like how unique her color line is. I know there's a ton of them out there, but hers is, I was really just drawn to hers. The next one is Bubblegum. And I think ink blending your swatches too gives you a much better idea of how they're actually going to blend. So I just wipe my brush off. So of course bubblegum is a nice bright pink. So yes, my lives aren't as smooth as everybody else's, but yeah, I have all the distress oxides, and I have one or two of Gina K's. I haven't really deep dive into hers yet. So that was bubblegum. How do you like the Gina K inks? Oh. I like using the stamp wheel for this because my cardstock just doesn't move. I don't use it for stamping, I only use it for ink blending, which is crazy. Alright, so our next one is going to be Lollipop. Just wiping my brush off here. And I usually do use one brush for each, you know, kind of color family. So I just did a couple swipes. And I like this one because I feel like it's got a little bit more magenta in it than the hot pink. So that one was Lollipop. And this little tool is from Honeybee. It just helps me pick them up a little bit easier. So there's Lollipop, and I'll show you the bubblegum next to each other. So you can see the Lollipop has a little bit more magenta into it. Well, thank you for joining my live. Hopefully I'll eventually get better at these. So now I'm going to grab dragon fruit, raspberry sorbet, guava, fruit punch, watermelon, and cherry pop. And cherry pop I will move into my red blending brushes. So we will start off with dragon fruit. And I've already cleaned, let me just be sure. Yes, clean my brush, just a couple swipes. And this one is much more vibrant. The only thing I will say about her inks, about Taylor Expression inks, is they do stain your stamps. The lighter colors, not so much, but the green, or the blues, greens, purples, they will stain your stamps. If if you're stamping with them. So that is dragon fruit. And I just make my little stack on the side. I'm going to clean my brush here. So the next one will be the raspberry sorbet. And as you can see, I know it's orange, but you can see like that color really stuck on there from that dragon fruit. These are felt pads. So I have the Simon Hurley ones, which are the sponge pads, and I do struggle with those ones a little bit more. I think it's because I'm so used to the felt, like I really want to kind of like squish it in there, and it just kind of makes a mess. But yeah, these are all felt, which is nice because then you can kind of just get in there and do your stamping and blending. Okay, so this is Raspberry Sorbet. This one's a little bit lighter. It's a little bit duskier as well. So that is Raspberry Sorbet. And I'm going to have to start making another stack here, just so they don't all fall over. Clean my brush. Yeah, oxides were my thing for a long time. Like, I have every single one of them. And honestly, I just have not used them much at all. Even last year, like the full year, I really didn't hardly pick them up after I got these. And I started with just 2 inks. I picked my favorite 2 ink colors and went from there. Because why buy a whole set if you're not gonna like the line at all? So that's my recommendation, is buy 1 or 2 colors of your favorite colors that you know that you're gonna use, and then if you like them, you know, you can purchase more. But oh, I tell you, this one is guava. I just like how unique her colors are. So this has a little bit more red in it. Or get the ink cubes. Try the ink cubes first, because then you'll know if it's a line that you're going to like or not. I think that was what was great about Tim Holtz, is when he did the small distress cubes. Okay, I think I'm going to do Fruit Punch, and then I'll probably end up switching to my red brush. So this one is Fruit Punch. So I'll clean my brush a little bit more here. And I'm not using anything, I'm just rubbing it on a microfiber cloth. Every once in a while, I'll spritz it with alcohol, and it's only because alcohol dries so fast, it's not going to mess up the bristles of my brush. And these are the brushes I typically blend with when I'm doing projects. So that was Fruit Punch. So let me show you the difference here. And I'll show you how they have dried. So this is Fruit Punch here, and this is Dragon Fruit. Or, I'm sorry, Fruit Punch and Guava. So let me show you the first couple ones that I've done so you can see how they've dried. So here's Fruit Punch. So it's not as splotchy. And then there's Lollipop. And then Bubblegum. So they really smooth out nicely. I do like that, like I said, I have 1 or 2 ink cubes of Gina K. I do like how her inks smooth out so nicely. So let's move on to Watermelon, and I'm going to grab my red brush for this, just because I have a feeling, yeah, the next couple are red. So this is how the pink fresh brushes come. These are the 1-inch ones. They're always sold out of these, but I understand why. I mean, they're really nice, soft, fluffy, and they give you a good blend. Alright, so we have Watermelon. And it doesn't look like there's much color on here, but once I lay it on the paper, you'll see that there's quite a bit. So that is Watermelon. And I also like to swatch them too, because yes, sometimes they do look like the tops of the ink pads, and sometimes they don't. Sometimes you get a color and you're like, oh, that's not what it was supposed to look like at all. And I have these all color coded in my ink storage. So this next one is Cherry Pop. Let me get this guy open. Just gonna stick that there. So Cherry Pop is a really nice red. It almost reminds me of like a true red. Like I barely touched that ink pad. The only downside with the sticky mats is I can't always get underneath of them to pick up my swatches. But these are just 2x2, and like I said, I will cut them out using my die that I use for my paper swatches. So, the next ones we're going to be doing are mulled wine, jujube, peaches and cream, papaya, persimmon, and candy corn. Sorry if you see me reaching over or above. That's just where my ink pads are. So let's start with mulled wine, and I am going to wipe my brush off because that red was pretty intense. So I just go in again with that light hand and then just kind of build up that color. And this is a winey red color. Alright, so that one was mulled wine. Let's see if I can grab the corner here. Yeah, the stamp wheel I only really honestly use just for stenciling and stuff like this. I can never get my stamps correct when I'm trying to stamp anything with this. Yeah, the sponge is just, I don't know, I really struggle with the sponge. Because Simon Hurley's got beautiful colors too. And I know Catherine Pooler does. I just struggle with it. I already ink blend like a lumberjack. And I always feel like I'm getting too much pigment on my brush. And then having to start over. So this next one is Jujube. I know a lot of people do like the Catherine Pooler inks. I do struggle with, like you, with the sponge pads. I feel like Jujube is more like a brick red. Yeah, I try to test out a couple different brands. Like I do have some Concord and Ninth, but they're the sponge pads and it's the same struggle. So that is Jujube. And next we're going to go and I'm going to switch brushes one more time. So, because I know these ones are going towards the oranges. And her color names on these are hilarious. I love that they're all food related things. So this one is peaches and cream. This is a really nice, soft, peachy color. Then this is just some 80-pound cardstock that I got at Joann's when they were still open. And I'm stacking them as I have them in my ink storage so that they go back in the right spot. The next one is papaya. like this color a lot. This would be a really good sunset color. So that's papaya. And the next is going to be persimmon. She's got some really great oranges. Like, she has a really nice, wide variety of oranges. Okay. So when you think of persimmon, this is not the color I think of when I think of persimmon, but I do really like it. And you'll see now where I'm starting with the candy corn, the oranges. Or more, I should say more true oranges. So this next one is candy corn. I know my desk looks a mess, but I'm actually pretty organized this time. So this color reminds me, it does remind me of candy corn, but it also reminds me of mac and cheese. So that is candy corn. And then the next ones we're going to be doing are sweet potato pie, pumpkin, banana, excuse me, banana cream pie, potato chip, pineapple, and lemon meringue. Oops. And she also has a nice variety of yellows as well. Like, not a lot of companies do. Or if they do, they're pretty close and looking like the same colors. So the next one is sweet potato pie. I'm going to clean this off real quick. So now we're getting into the more orangey orange colors. This almost reminds me of like a rust orange. So that's sweet potato pie. And these blend so nicely. That's one of the other things that I really liked about her inks, is that how nicely they blend together. Okay, so the next one is pumpkin. I almost grabbed the wrong brush. Yes, pumpkin. So I will show you the difference between the sweet potato pie and the pumpkin. So this is the sweet potato pie, and then this is the pumpkin. All right, another brush change. Good thing I have a ton of these. So the next one is going to be banana cream pie, which is a really light pale yellow. can almost not even see it on the swatch. But those oranges, this yellow, would be great sunset colors. Or even sunrise colors. So that is banana cream pie. And then there's an interesting one that I'm going to be doing next, which is potato chip. When I first swatched this on my swatch ring, I thought maybe I had gotten too many colors on my stamp and it just wasn't stamping correctly. But it's a very unique color. It's almost like, I don't even know how to explain it. I'll show you the difference between those two. Yeah, she's got some great yellows. So this is potato chip. This is banana cream pie. So it's just it's a very unique yellow to me anyways. So the next one is going to be pineapple. And I'm literally putting no pressure on these swatches at all. It's just the brush is just so good. And I bought all these with my own money. I didn't know, none of these were gifted, sent to me, anything. I like to buy things myself. So there's pineapple. So let me show you pineapple to potato chip. So there's pineapple to potato chip. So I guess it does look like a potato chip color. Kind of like a Lay's. And the next one is going to be lemon meringue. Swipe off my brush here. Yeah, her yellows, I love her blue teals. She does have a good amount of greens. Even her purples.
Can you put my hair into a ponytail?
So this one was lemon meringue. Yeah, if you've not gotten these brushes yet, oh my gosh, they are so nice. Like, I need to get more, but they're always sold out. Give me 1 second here. I'm going to grab the other ink pads. Put these ones away so that I have more room on my desk. That's the only thing I wish I had was more room on my desk. But I think all of us crafters kind of craft ourselves into little corners of our desks. Even though we have ample space to craft with. So the next ones we're going to be doing is mango, sweet corn, Dijon, honey, and then we'll move into the mint julep after these ones. So let's move into mango. Yeah, I almost kind of wish that they would make these brushes in a smaller size as well. I mean, I have these ones. So these are the, oh my gosh, which ones are these? It doesn't say. I think these are maybe the 2-inch, 1-inch ones. And these work great for detailing. Okay, so let's start with mango. brush off here. Even sweet corn, I was really surprised about. Not in a bad way, like in a good way, that of the color. So this is, what did I say this was? Mango. I mean, and it does have a mango color to it. So this is the first time I'm actually ink blending all of these ones for my swatch book. So there is mango. Or I should say my swatch ring. And then sweet corn is also pretty unique. It's a little darker than I thought it was going to be. It almost reminds me of a sunflower. So here is sweet corn. And if you hear that clicking in the background, that's my heater. My husband made me, we bought a shed, and half of the shed is my crafty area. So I'll have to check those out because I really do enjoy these brushes. They're just always sold out when I need them. So this is Dijon. Which, I mean, it does look like a mustardy color. I mean, that's probably one of the nicest things about her inks too, is their descriptions really match the colors that she puts out. Now, I did order a bunch of her cardstock too, so that I have some matching cardstock to go with the inks. I don't always do that with companies. I'm pretty flexible. Like I have a lot of Spellbinders, a lot of Concord and Ninth, Stamp Market. They make some great paper too. But I'm just waiting for it to be delivered. So this is honey. And I figured since I forgot one ink pad that I would get some paper. Now, I use honey a lot for like my golds. I feel like it just adds a little something extra into it and it makes it look a little bit more gold. So that is honey. Oh no. Oh no. Gonna have a catastrophe over here. Alright, so I'm going to move into my greens now. Clean off my brush here. And I do, you know, keep my brushes separate from my oxides. Okay, so that's all nice and clean. I'm going to put some of these away on this side. Oh, no, I'm not, because I need them. I am going to move them out of the way, though. Let's get rid of these boxes. And those boxes were only there because I have a glare until my new glass mat gets here, which should be Monday. I'll put these here. So I know it seems like a pain to keep your ink pads out, but after I die cut them, I will write their names on them. I used to label everything, but it just got so tedious with the label maker and having to change out the tape all the time. So now I just write on them. Okay, so there's those ones. Let me make sure I'm still in frame here. Let's zoom in just a little bit more. Okay, so now we're moving into Mint Julep, Honeydew, Granny Smith, Kiwi, Lime Zest, and Pear. Just a little bit. Okay, let me grab my green brush here. Okay, so this is Mint Julep. Set that lid over there. And I love this color. It's a really nice, like, true mint color. Let's get this guy over here. The next one is going to be Honeydew Melon. And again, a really nice light green. So that is Honeydew Melon. And then we have Granny Smith, which I like Granny Smith a lot. I like some of the brighter colors a lot. So this almost reminds me of, where is it at? Twisted Citron by Tim Holtz. But I like it. So that is Granny Smith. The next one is Kiwi. Oh, these nails. Typically, I don't wear nails in my videos, but I really like these ones. So, here's Kiwi. And it's kind of along the same lines as Granny Smith. And this one actually might even be closer to Twisted Citron than Granny Smith. So let's look at them together. So Granny Smith and Kiwi. All right, the next one is Lime Zest. I also have new lights coming too, so that should really help with the reflection because it drives me insane. Alright, so here's Lime Zest. And then the next one we have is Pear. Pear's kind of unique. It was not what I was expecting it to be for Pear. Let's clean off my brush. And I did clean my brush off in between. So it's bright, but not like in your face bright. This would be really good to highlight your grasses. So there is Pear. And then we have wintergreen, which I've used wintergreen so much this year. Pea pod, cilantro, sweet basil, green tea, cheese, and jalapeno. So let me set these how they are in order. So wintergreen was, I used that a lot with my Christmas cards this year. It just has a really nice, I don't know, it's Christmassy to me. I hope this year to do more lives, to get more comfortable with my camera. I do make other videos, other process videos. They're always a little bit longer, but I'm getting there. I'm trying to figure it all out. I just enjoy making. So this is wintergreen. And I use, like I said, I use this one mostly on my Halloween. Oh my gosh, my Christmas cards this year. And Marsha, I will check your channel out as soon as I'm done with this live. I try to follow everybody. I mean, it costs people nothing to follow. Plus, it helps everybody out in the end. Okay, so the next one up is pea pod. And this was another green that I really like. Like, I was really surprised on how many greens that she had. Now, I didn't have pea pod for Christmas. Like, I just got these in. I made the swatches the other day because I was having some anxiety, and that helps. So that is pea pod. I'll show you up close. And then we have cilantro next. Oh my gosh, you should. Listen, I know it seems scary. Like, I'm always nervous. Like, I always have to, like, pep talk myself before I do anything. Especially lives like this, because 9 times out of 10, I feel like I'm just talking to myself. I make everybody in my house leave the area that I'm filming in, just because I'm still not, like, 100% confident. And I'm okay admitting that. Like, it takes time. Like, a lot of my process videos are a little bit longer than, you know, most people. Like, I'm no Jennifer McGuire. I am Tara. Or Mayhem Crafty Cards. I just enjoy creating. But you should. You don't even have to talk. You could just post your stuff and put music behind it. But it helps me kind of get out of my own little bubble and push myself to do something that is a little bit scary. Okay, the next one is sweet basil. Like, this is of all the time I've done YouTube, this is probably my 3rd live ever. And I do want to get more comfortable and confident with them this coming year. I like being able to interact with people and get other, you know, have other perspectives than just my own. Do you post in any Facebook groups or Instagram? Okay, this one was sweet basil. I don't know, I just try to support everybody because I feel like the smaller channels kind of they don't get noticed as much as the bigger channels. And there are there's super incredibly talented people that have a smaller channel that just kind of gets overlooked. So I try to follow and support everybody. So that one was Sweet Basil. Well, if you have Instagram or Facebook or anything like that, I will be sure to follow you. I mean, I try to do giveaways. I just did one, and one of my followers, Ra Marie, she won and posted a so sweet video. You guys will have to check that out and see what she got in her giveaway. I'm usually very generous just because crafting stuff is expensive. Like, I wish I had an unlimited pocketbook. I mean, I'm sure my husband doesn't, but it's nice to have things that maybe you can't get at that time. Or just had the chance to win something. I never win giveaways, so I have no problem doing one. Which, once my channel hits certain milestones, I will be doing bigger giveaways. And that's not what I want to do to draw people in. I just like to give back when I can. Well, Marsha, I have a Facebook group that is nothing but positivity. I don't tolerate negativity. It's ridiculous for people to be negative about somebody's creations that they, took the time to make. So you're more than welcome to join the Facebook group. And don't be afraid to post. You don't have to always be anonymous. Like, our group it's really nice. It's very small, but everybody in there is very positive and very encouraging. Because I know what you mean. There are people out there that just want to, they are not happy with themselves, so they take it out on other people. And I am not about that. Life is too short to be negative. The next one I'm going to do is green tea while I'm, blabbing. But yes, I will post the link in, once I'm done with the live, I will post the link in the description. If I can figure out how to do it in the chat, I will do it in the chat. Text sometimes takes me a little bit. So this one was green tea. But everybody's creative in their own way, and I can't. It really bothers me that people want to be negative. Let me see if I can do it from the chat. Let's see. Now, it's called Color Cube Challenge, but it's open to everybody. I mean, you do have to answer the couple questions to get in, so we keep, the nasty people out. Because I won't, like I said, I won't tolerate it. It's just, life is too short. I just want everybody to be happy and have fun and enjoy what they're doing, because crafting really has helped me in so many ways. But yes, don't let them negative people get you down. Most of the time, they're just unhappy with their own lives. Sorry, I'm just cleaning my brush off. That green stuck on there good. Well, I appreciate you being on my live. Oh, which one was this? Jalapeno. I'm barely tapping this because I'm a little scared of this color. Okay, so that was jalapeno. But yes, join the group and absolutely post. Okay, so the next ones we have coming up, let me rearrange some things real quick again, because I can get rid of some of these brushes now. I've not done the blues yet, so that guy's got to stay out. I might have to cut more squares. Okay, so the next, like I said, the next ones are going to be Brussels sprouts, spearmint, gumdrop, rock candy, poblano pepper. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and royal icing. And royal icing starts the blues, I believe. Yeah, royal icing starts the blues. I'm sorry if I shake the camera. I'm just trying to grab my ink pads here. Okay. Okay, let's get these ready to go here. All right. So this next one is Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprout. We'll just say Brussels sprout. So this is a very interesting color, and I'm pretty sure that I did wipe my brush off. This would be also a good Christmas color, I feel like. So that's Brussels sprouts. The next one we have is spearmint. And yeah, this will be fine. I'm going to clean my brush off one more time. Well, don't feel no pressure to join that Facebook group. I just wanted to put it out there. We're all very friendly and very non-judgmental. So this one was spearmint. That's what this one was. Spearmint. Ooh, I like this color too. Alright, so that one was spearmint. And then we have gumdrop. I love gumdrop. It's probably that and Cookie Monster, probably couple of my favorites. Alright, clean my brush off here. Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorites. I love these colors. It's like, it just reminds me of the ocean. So that one is gumdrop. The next one up is rock candy, which again, most of these colors I'm doing now are like in my favorites. Yeah, to really just pretty oceany colors. So that was Rock Candy. And then we have Poblano Pepper is our next one. Just trying to clean my brush off here just to make sure that we're getting the true color. And I'll show you the difference here in just a second between these three. And you need to dip back into that one. So we have Poblano Pepper, Rock Candy. They're similar, but they're a little bit different. And then Gumdrop. Okay, so our next ones are going to start our blue. So I'm going to grab my blue brush. And my desk is a mess right now. So we have Real Icing, Confetti Cake, Cookie Monster, Blue Raspberry, and Tiki Mule. And I did forget 2 colors, but I will do those later. So I'm going to make sure my blue brush is clean and get rid of my green for the moment. And that guy's clean. All right. So I'm going to flip this over. And I just use water to clean my sticky mat for my stamp wheel. I really like the Real Icing. I use this one a lot for clouds. This is probably one of my first ones from her. So that is Real Icing. And then the next one we have is Confetti Cake. She does make some great blues. So that is Confetti Cake. Wipe my brush, and then we have probably my favorite one. Or my top 3 favorite ones, I guess. I don't know. I really like this color. This is Cookie Monster. And I believe this is one of her more popular ones. This would be great for the ocean, great for clouds. I have a cloud stencil from, what was it called? Colorful Life Designs, and it is my favorite cloud stencil. I use it anytime I do clouds. So that is Cookie Monster. We have Blue Raspberry coming next. And again, they're just, oh, these blues. Blue greens, whatever you want to call them. They're some of my favorites. So that was Blue Raspberry. And then we have Tiki Mule. This is more like a dusty blue. brush here. So I make sure that I get all of that off there. Let's see. I'm also going to add my Instagram too. So I do post a lot on my Instagram. I'm just now getting back into YouTube. And if you follow me, I'll follow you right back, because that's just how I do it. Okay, so Tiki Mule's next. So like I said, these will smooth out, which is nice. I really enjoy the fact that they smooth out and they don't stay as blotchy as they seem. So the next ones are going to be sour gummy, saltwater taffy, sprinkles, gumball, and blue cheese. I'll just reach under my camera here. And I may have to cut this into 2 different lives. Usually every Sunday we go play cards with our neighbors. They say cotton candy. No. Yes. But it'll be later tonight when I go live again, if I do. Okay, so the first one is sour gummy. This reminds me of like a deep blue sea color. And then we have saltwater taffy. So see what I mean? It's like a deep blue, I guess. Okay, so I'm going to clean my brush because that one was pretty dark. And you won't be able to get the true color of the saltwater taffy. This is a really nice soft blue. So this would also be a really good one for clouds. I like to use different shades of blue when I do my clouds. Just the way it just gives them a little bit more dimension and depth. And then we have sprinkles, which is trapped under my machine. I did forget to swatch Dill Pickle, and it was only because it was in my ink holder from Glassboard Studios. Okay, let's see how many swatches I have left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I will finish these 5 out, and then I will be live again later tonight. I will try to post about it on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. I'm going to finish swatching these last 5. So this one was, where did my lid go? Oh, here it is. Sprinkles. So again, another nice light blue. I must put it right into my ink pad. Alright, then we have Gumball. Richer blues, yellow. I mean, all of her colors are just phenomenal. Alright, so let's do Gumdrop. These are these colors are getting into more like the denim-y colors of blue. So that is Gumball. Thank you, Marsha, for being here. It really made me feel a lot better, more confident doing a live. And I do appreciate you being here. Alright, the last three. There's three. So this one was, which one was this again? Blue cheese. Blue cheese. So this is your more denim blue. And then we have cotton candy, and the last one will be snow cone. And I will have to make sure I have more swatches, more cubes cut tonight. So both of these on there. So this is cotton candy. And again, this falls in line with the Cookie Monster and just some of my favorite blues. So last one, snow cone. Oh, let me put that on the cotton candy before I forget. And last but not least for right now is snow cone. So again, a really nice bright blue. So that is half of the swatches done. Like I said, I'll be back after we are done. And I hope to see you guys there. Thanks for watching. It really means a lot to me. And I will see you guys next time. Have a good night.